Hey guys, welcome back. Joe here again from ScaleFreak.com, coming to bring you a quick unboxing and a bit of a comparison video to these bad boys here. What is this? Well, this is the, on eBay, they're found as the Lesu, L-E-S-U, the G5 axle. The box says it's RAV 4x4. What is it? I don't know. I really don't know, but what it looks like 100% identical to the RC4WD K44 axles. Now, I am not normally one, and I've said it in a lot of videos in the past, I am not normally one for buying anything that is not directly from a manufacturer, knockoffs and things like that, but really, I cannot find any information on this company. I also know that RC4WD typically buys their product from other companies, adds their logo to it, and sends it out. They're more of a distributor than they are a manufacturer. Everything about this axle leads me to believe that this actually may be the company that manufactures the axle for RC4WD. They just released it on their own. And the reason why I picked this up as opposed to buying it directly from RC4WD was purely based on price point. And these things came highly recommended from Dan, a member of the Scale Nation, who promised me that they are part for part the exact same thing, well, almost part for part the exact same thing, and that if I had any concerns with them, he would gladly buy them from me. And there was only one set left on eBay, so I snapped them up. The difference in price, well, on eBay, I believe these things were like $150 for the pair, whereas opposed to, that's US dollars, as opposed to me picking them up from RC4WD, in which case they are $150 per axle. You can see why I would go with the difference. And these things, because they're going on to Red Knight, and this is going to be more of a scale trail rig rather than an absolute beat the snot out of rig, I don't necessarily need to have the greatest and most amazing part that was ever existed in here. I just want something that looks more scale. So let's start with, I guess we'll call it the unboxing. This, of course, is the box that it came in. It got a little beat up in the mail. That's not their fault. The package actually came from Canada Post saying, "We're sorry we've destroyed your object," but everything checked out to be fine. Slide the box open here. Now, I do want to note there is some information about the company that builds it on here and a website that does not exist. Yeah, anyway, we'll move on. Packaging is very simple. It comes in a box. It comes with some hexes and the screws and everything to put them in. I'll toss those aside because I know that these things were originally made for the width of something like a Tamiya or the Trailfinder. So I do, and I've already been told this, I have to get the 12 millimeter extensions to throw onto the SCX-10, so I will be getting those, so I won't be needing those at all. Now, just foam packaging holds them in there, so let's go ahead and pull the axles out themselves and get rid of the box. Now, these guys here, some of the differences you're going to notice right away is that on the diff cover, it just says G5. Everything else looks to be the same. And I used to sell the RC4WD product. I can tell you that I've had the RC4WD K44s in my hand, and I'm feeling these, and I'm like, wow, these are clones. Like I said, if not the original product. The biggest difference you can see here is it does say the G5 on there, and you'll notice, if you see here, that is not a CVD, it's actually a universal. That I actually think might be a little bit stronger. The pins are huge, but I can already tell you that you do not get as much turn out of it off the stop because it will bind up a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to drive it for a while like that and see if it even goes that far on my turning lock. I don't think I actually turned that much. I took out, where is it? I took this little bad boy out and I measured these things up as compared to the actual specs on the RC4WD website. They throw everything on there. And these are measurement for measurement the same. I weighed them and they are within fractions of an ounce the same. Everything on this thing seems like it is the same. So I don't feel so bad. Now, another thing I like about this is I know the RC4WD ones come with this little guy here will be flat with the notch on there, which means if I upgrade my axles, I have to make sure that I go the ones where they use the set screws on both sides. But because these ones have the straight through on the outdrives, I can use any of the newer style stuff, including the newer MIPs that go through and fasten from both sides, and then I don't have to worry about anything slipping out. So bang and bang like that. From what I've seen so far, all I really need to do is replace these caps with ARBs from RC4WD, and you won't really notice the difference. That's what I've noticed so far. Now, again, I told you they're going on Red Knight. The reason because I did want a bit more of a scale look. Right now, it is currently running, this is just an extra that I had laying around, the axial axles, which, I mean, these things have been tried, tested, and true. Blood, sweat, and tears. These things are absolutely amazing, but they're friggin' huge. And of course, they are center hub for pumpkin. You'll notice with these guys here, it's offset for the front axle, which a Jeep is supposed to be, and it's center in the rear, which a Jeep is supposed to be. But let's take a look at this already. So let's compare. I mean, ignore the length because I don't have the lockouts on the end of here, but just compare the size difference from the center hub. This is going to give me a significant amount more clearance. Now, if I measure this guy here, I'll zero this thing out. This one here at its top is 34.9, 35 millimeters, we'll call it. The axial one from top to bottom is, let's see here, we're talking 43. So all of a sudden, I'm getting 8 millimeters back, which it doesn't sound like a whole ton, but it is that much space back off the top and bottom of my hub, which is going to give me a bit more center clearance. Now, from side to side on the hub, let's just go side to side on right where it connects to where the axle is the flattest. We are looking at about 47.5 millimeters from where it just goes to a straight tube. Now, on this bad boy here, these are transitioned off so much. It's plastic, right? They need to be able to get in there. If I do that, where it's flat to flat, we're talking 58. So I'm getting a lot of that space back. And of course, the actual axle tube on this guy here is only, let's see here. This one's measuring in at 8. This one here is measuring in at almost 16. Which one am I going to use? That will, of course, look a lot more stock underneath the rig, which is exactly what I was looking for. I've gone through great pains and efforts to add all these awesome Knight Customs products to this thing to give it more of a look, and the Smitty built stuff. I'm absolutely in love with how this thing was looking, but the axles themselves have been a major pain point for me because I was like, oh, it looks so good except for those things, and I didn't want to add them on there. But this one here, if I kind of, let's see if I can lower this camera a little bit and do this. If I bring this kind of front and center, you can see how big that is under there, and I'm going to instead put this in its place, which will, of course, change the dynamic a bunch. Now, I cannot install these yet. Not yet. These things, just like the RC4WD ones, are set up for a leaf spring setup. And because this is not leaf spring, I have to get the RC4WD 4-link trusses, which at this moment, of course, are out of stock. So I'm going to have to wait until those are ready. I've got myself on the remind me when they're in list so that I can get them in along with the ARB covers, because I actually do want those. They're the same red as my shell. And then get that in and mount them all up, as well as, of course, the 12 millimeter wideners, so we can make it look exactly how I want it to. But I wanted to let you guys know what these were. Don't fear the parts. You know, check the reviews and talk to people who maybe have them. I'm very thankful for Dan and the Scale Nation for pointing these things out to me and giving me the confidence to buy them. I was very weary about getting them. But I checked this company, I checked the reviews, I checked a ton of reviews online about them, and everybody is raving about these axles. So I bit the bullet and I bought them. I shouldn't say I bit the bullet, because I had Dan's assurance that if I didn't like them, he would buy them from me. So I guess it wasn't really much of a gamble. Thank you, Dan. But that's it. I wanted to show you guys, again, it's Lesu, L-E-S-U, and they're called the G5s. They come into stock every once in a while on the one buyer. I forget what the guy's name was, Smokin' Joe or Big Joe or something like that, and you can check that out. And I mean, don't be afraid if you see them online. The price was right. Why not, right? And with the Canadian conversion, by the time I pay for it through PayPal or on a credit card, we're looking at almost 50%. So take that $300 that I was going to have to pay from RC4WD, and with shipping and everything, make that up to about $400. These things with taxes and shipping and exchange and stuff like that, I bet you these things were probably, let's call it $240, maybe possibly $250 to my front door. So I gotta save the money where I can when my Canadian dollar is in the crapper like it is right now. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much. I'll have more on these as I use them, but I have to obviously get them mounted on the rig. So thank you guys for watching. Please click the like, click the share, comment down below if you're using these, or if you've got the K44s and you've got some experience with them that I should know. And of course, please share this throughout your community. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day.